Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you version 2 of my working Lego sniper rifle. As you can see, this one is much longer, has much more features, and looks much better. Also, I built this custom automatically resetting target. Let's get into it. So as you may have noticed, unlike version 1 of my sniper rifle, this one has a magazine. So it makes it a lot quicker to reload in between each shot. And right now I'm going to show how to put these bullets into the magazine. The first step is you lift this up and you pull it back. Then you lock this front gray piece behind this thing here. Then you flip this yellow piece over and out comes your magazine. Then loading the magazine is simple. You just push in a bullet and slide it over. Next bullet, you push down that one, slide it over. To put the magazine back in, you just click it right in here. Lift this piece back up and push it forward. Now the gun is loaded and ready to shoot. So once you've put the bullets in the magazine and the magazine in the gun, like I just showed you, you have to load it. So for the first shot, the slide is already back here, so you just have to push it forward. But for every other shot in the magazine, you have to load it a different way. So first, you lift this up and you pull it back to here. Then it's locked, so you pull the trigger to release it all the way back. That is an added layer of safety so you can't accidentally load it. Then you pull it back till you hear the click and push it forward all the way back to the tan piece, then lock it around the tan piece, and now it's ready to fire. Along with the shooting, this gun also has a couple special features that make it really easy and helpful to use. The first one, and I probably use this one the most, is the extendable stock. So if I pull on this red thing, it just comes right out, but it won't go back in. So it's really stable and this sits right in your shoulder. And when you want to put it in, you just flip up this black thing and push it in. Also, you could just pull it out to here and it would lock, or you could pull it all the way out to here and it would still lock. The next feature I'm going to show you is the scope. The scope is an improvement on the last scope because in my opinion it was a little too big. This one aims very, very well, and I'm going to put a picture of the view through it on the screen right now. So the next feature I'm going to show you is the safety. So just now I went ahead and loaded it, so if I pull the trigger right now, it'll fire. But if you see this little gray flip here, when this gray piece is pointed to this red piece, that means the safety is off, because red means fire. But when you flip this up and click it into place, now if I pull the trigger, you can see how it won't go. But now, if I flip the safety down, when I pull the trigger, so the next feature I'm going to be showing you is the stand. The stand is similar to the stand on the first sniper rifle, but it is a little different in the mechanism and it's much easier to use. The way to fold it down is first, you flip this red latch down, then you flip this gray piece down too. Now, this can come down. The next step is you just open this up like this, and then open it and hold and click these together like that. Then you just angle your feet and you've got a perfect stand. So it can rock back and forth, it can angle, it's pretty stable, and it's really helpful for accurate shooting. So now I'm going to show you how the shooting mechanism and reloading mechanism works. So this is the slide, and this is what you're pulling back on and pushing when you're reloading it. This has two important features. This black piece, connected to the rubber band, is the hammer, because of this rubber band pulley system right there. Then this blue piece is what triggers the reloading mechanism. So, in here, when loaded, this sits like this. But then you pull it back. This here is the trigger, so you have to pull the trigger to get this black piece over it. The black piece goes over the trigger, and then comes back here, and as you can see, this blue and that black thing engage. So now, as you pull it back, you're also pulling the black thing back. So what happens there, black thing is connected to this long red piece. So when you pull it back, that's the magazine right there. And that's a bullet, that silver piece. So that pops up, and then as you release it forward again, this rubber band pulls on the black thing and lifts the bullet up like that. Then this piece comes along and hits the bullet, which flattens it, and then the black piece pushes the bullet right up so it's against the trigger like this. Then the black piece is stuck behind the bullet, which is stuck behind the trigger. So as you keep pushing it forward, it extends the rubber band. And then when you pull the trigger, it puts that gray thing down and launches the bullet from the power of the rubber band. So now I'm going to show you the trigger mechanism. So the difficulty here was the trigger part in the gun is here, and then the trigger that you pull is here. The problem with that is that the magazine is right in between those two. So the way I was able to get the mechanism through is if you look at this red piece, when I pull the trigger, it moves. So that red piece is connected to this gray piece. That's a hinge and that's a hinge. This gray piece is then connected to this purple L piece. That L piece goes underneath this black piece, which is connected to this gray rod. That rod is what goes up inside the gun and blocks the bullet. So when I pull on the trigger with my finger, you can see how everything goes. This bar pulls back on the L, which lifts up the black and lifts up the rod, which is what releases the bullet. So the safety works its way right into the trigger mechanism. And this here is connected to this big red piece on this side. Now, remember when I just explained the trigger, this gray linkage. This bottom hinge there moves backwards when you pull the trigger, as you can see, like that. But this red piece goes in front of it and gets in the way. Now it can only move that little distance, which is not enough to release the bullet. And it clicks up. So when it's not about to fire, that's what it looks like. When it is going to fire, though, it clicks down and it won't lock back up. So as I mentioned in the intro, I didn't just build a gun, I built a custom target. So the mechanism here is really simple, but I like this because you don't have to get up and reset it every time you knock it down. It does that by itself. So say I had just hit it and my finger is the bullet. When it hits this black piece, which is the target, it flips the other one up. And it takes very minimal power to do this. You just kind of do that. Like, with the power of my rifle, there's no chance that if it hits it, it won't knock it down. So, the way it works is each target pivots down here at the bottom, and they're connected to an axle, which is connected to a gear. This gear is connected to the black target, and this one to the gray target. And when these gears mesh, if you know you have two gears meshing, they spin opposite directions. So when this turns one way, the other turns the other way.